What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Jumping into this episode of Y&R. First of all, Anna. Listen, I understand how Anna feels. Like, she just feels like Devon doesn't take her seriously as a producer. And, I get it. But she also needs to respect, Devon's wishes as the boss. He doesn't like some of the decisions that she's making because Anna is not new to the music industry, but as far as the behind the scenes portion of the industry, she's green. She's new. You know what I mean? Like, she has some good ideas, but I think Devon's trying to make her more polished as a producer because she's not, she's new. And I feel like she doesn't know how to take constructive criticism from Devon. And that's all he's been giving her is constructive criticism. That's it. And she just can't handle it. But she needs to learn how to respect his wishes. Like, I didn't like how she ran to Nate, which I had a feeling she would do because he is a member of the board of Hamilton Winters. I didn't like how she ran to him because I felt like she was trying to pit him against Devon for her benefit. That's how I felt. That's what I felt she was trying to do. Because, of course, she didn't like what Devon was doing. Giving her a babysitter, basically. Because he wanted Theo, basically, to mentor her. But she'd rather be mentored by Devon. I feel like she should just sit down and tell Devon that she'd rather he mentor her and teach her the behind the scenes of the business and stuff. Communication is key. But her running to Nate to get him to kind of step in and, it seemed to me like she wanted him to kind of overrule Devon, which can't happen because yes, Nate is a member of the board, but Devon is the chairman and CEO. He's the sole owner. So he gets final say in what happens in the company and with the divisions and stuff like that. And I'm glad Nate let her know, like, just, do what Devon asked, work with Theo, and see how it is. She hasn't even really taken the chance to really work with Theo. She hasn't tried to work with Theo. So how does she know it's not going to work? You know what I mean? Like, you haven't even put the effort in to do what Devon asked you to do. And I feel like that's all she had to do. Work with Theo. Work with him, see how it go. And if it feels like it's not working, then go talk to Devon and reevaluate the situation. That's all she has to do. Running to Nate is childish. You know what I mean? Like, it's childish to run to Nate to try to, pit him against Devon to get what you want. You know what I mean? That's not a good look. And it's definitely going to piss Devon off even more and prove to him that she's not ready to be a producer. You know what I mean? Like, handle it like an adult and like a business person, not like a bratty child, throwing a temper tantrum because you can't get what you want. And that's exactly what Anna's doing. You know what I mean? Handle it in a different way. So I like how Nate handled the situation. You know what I'm saying? He didn't fall for the trap, to try to use his influence as a board member to help her. I'm glad he didn't do that because that wouldn't have worked anyway. And it just would have pissed Devon off. And now, Devon was already a little, upset with Nate for even selling Neil's penthouse. So if he interfered in this, it would have just been the icing on the cake for Devon to be even more pissed at him and for them to kind of turn into enemies instead of family. And that's not what you want. Handle it differently. There's ways of handling situations that you don't like. You know what I'm saying? You could do it the right way or the wrong way. Currently, Anna's doing it the wrong way. She needs to reevaluate and change her approach and stop being so, resistant to, taking constructive criticism and handle it better. So anyway, I like the conversation Nate and, Elena had. I love Elena and Devon together, though, and I love Elena. I like the new character. I want to see her fleshed out more. I think that they're fleshing her out slowly because she's a new character. They're not trying to throw her into the deep end already. So I do like that. She was, a little down because she lost her first patient, which I'm guessing was Chelsea's husband because he was DOA. Devon basically, asked her, can she really, not Devon, Nate. Nate pretty much asked her, can she handle a job where you're going to have to make life or death decisions, or should she just try to find another career? I think it's a little too soon for her to find a new career. And the reason I say that is because she went through years of schooling to become a doctor, years of medical school. Plus she had all those, student loans that Devon paid for her. But, you worked hard to become a doctor. Just because you lost your first patient, I don't think that's, reason enough to just throw in the towel and start looking for something new, especially when you went through so much hell to get to where you are. You know what I mean? Being a doctor, becoming a doctor is not easy. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of studying, a lot of, just a lot, a lot of stress. So I think, but having her first DOA, her first patient that she lost also reminded her of her mom, because she wasn't able to save her mom. And she felt like, what if there was more that someone could have done, or maybe they would have got there sooner to save her patient. You know what I mean? It's tough, though. It's tough, but she'll get through it. Being a doctor ain't easy. Being in no profession is easy. I mean, look at cops and stuff. You see the horrors that they have to see every day. They have to see, pull up on the scene and see dead bodies and, homicides and stuff like that. So trust, being in those professions, like being a firefighter and stuff, those professions are not easy to be in, because you see a lot of stuff that messes with you, so it's not easy. But you can't call in the towel, though, you know what I mean, because you worked hard to get there, so might as well stick it out. So anyway, moving on from that, Paul is not playing no games. I love seeing Paul back. Like, he is not playing no games. He's trying to get to the bottom of everything. What happened to Chelsea's husband, and Phyllis's sudden disappearance. Phyllis basically shrugged it off. She tried to put the focus on Chelsea, you know what I mean, and try to ask Paul about the statute of limitations on when Chelsea attacked Sharon before she left. But he said he's going to have to look into it and stuff like that, because I don't even think Sharon is even pressing charges, or she dropped the charges or whatever. So if Sharon's not pressing charges, then there's not really much Paul can do about the assault charge. But he is interested in finding out where the hell Phyllis was. But of course, Phyllis keeps shrugging it off, saying that she just took a trip. He don't believe her. He don't believe it. He's definitely not believing it. See, that's that instinct. That's the instinct of Paul, being a good cop. He knows that she's full of BS. He know it. He might not can't prove it right now, but I think he's on to something, and he's probably not going to stop until he do prove it, until he does. Because he know that Phyllis is lying. He could see it all over her face. He could see it. You know what I mean? Phyllis always doesn't have a good poker face, so he could tell when she BSing him. And she's definitely BSing him. So anyway, moving on from that. Theo and Summer. Listen, that whole scene kind of annoyed me. So the whole time Theo was out of town, he claims that he was around a bunch of beautiful women who were also influencers, social media influencers. And he claims that Summer's the sexiest, smartest woman that he's been around out of all the women that he met all over the world. I said, that's a lie. No, the reason I say that's a lie is because Summer is a beautiful girl, don't get me wrong. She's somewhat smart. But to say that out of all the women that he's met all around the world, she's the most smart and beautiful and sexy, I don't agree with that. I don't. You mean to tell me there's no women all around the world smarter than Summer? I beg to differ. I could probably name about 50 just off the top of my head. Probably more than that if I think about it. So Theo came up with the idea that he wants Summer to be a social media influencer. He said that he felt like she was a better influencer and a better business person basically than all the women that he met. I'm like, why does he keep gassing this girl up? She's not all that bright. Like, I'm just saying, yeah, she be having some smart ideas when it comes to Jabot and stuff like that, but there's plenty of influencers out there who have millions of followers on social media, millions of followers or subscribers on YouTube or whatever it is that they do. You know what I mean? So to say Summer talking about, oh, she'd be the best at it, and I feel like he was gassing her up. Like, so out of all these influencers that he's met, mind you, that's his job. He manages social media influencers. So out of all these influencers he's met, Summer's the best out of all of them? I don't believe that. So basically he wants to manage Summer's new social media career. So if she becomes a social media influencer, what's going to happen to her job at Jabot? Like, is she still going to do that, or is she going to quit? Well, she should be able to do both. But of course, he wants to be her manager and get 10%. I wouldn't totally trust Theo if I was her, because he was gassing her up way too much. I'm like, I could definitely see Summer being a social media influencer. She's young. She knows the latest trends, you know what I mean, in fashion, music, you know what I mean? So she appeals to the younger demographic. So I could definitely see her being a major, social media influencer. It's not out the realm of possibility. I could definitely see it. She might even be good at it, It's something for her to do. So anyway, moving on from that. So, Chelsea, of course, is going to go stay with Nick since her husband just died. I feel like Chelsea had something to do with the death of her husband, because her husband was basically telling her that he felt Adam should, have full custody of Connor and they should try to have their own kids, and Chelsea wasn't going for it. So all of a sudden he says all of that, and now all of a sudden he's dead. I don't blame Paul for being suspicious. If I were a cop, I would be suspicious too. It doesn't make sense for that man to just drop dead like that. You know what I mean? Like, she definitely had something to do with it. Maybe she spiked this drink, poisoned him. She did something. Because ain't no way that man just dropped dead like that. And now she trying to act like the grieving widow all distraught. Adam is, trying to get her back and stuff like that. And she was offended because a few hours ago her husband died and now he trying to make a play for her. What do you think Nick is trying to do? By inviting you to his house and stuff like that, trying to be all courteous. Nick know he trying to get back with Chelsea. Nick's not slick. Nick is doing it more in a subtle manner, more discreetly than Adam. Adam's approach is more direct. Nick is being, he's dressing it up, trying to make it seem like he's all concerned and just trying to help her. This is all a ploy just to, try to spark that romantic flame again. That's all it is. But Nick ain't slick. I can see exactly what Nick is trying to do. I feel like the reason, Nick just gets on my nerves, though. The way he just always try to come for Adam. Like, I understand he don't like Adam for good reason. But it's a lot of jealousy between them, though. I feel like in some areas, Adam is jealous of Nick due to Victor. Because, Nick grew up with Victor. He was always the favorite son, the only son at the time. And Adam, I feel like, was jealous of that. But I feel like Nick is very jealous of Adam. Not just because of Sharon and Chelsea, but also because business-wise. Adam is self-made. He went to Harvard Business, built himself up. He went to college, like he's self-made. His money doesn't come from Victor. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have wealth because of Victor. You know what I mean? That's where Nick and Victoria's wealth came from, Victor. He doesn't have inherited money. He created his own money. He worked in the stock market on Wall Street, so he knows money and he knows business better than Nick does. Probably better than Victoria. And that's what Nick has always been jealous of. Because, business-wise, Victor has always favored Adam since he came to town than Nick. Even though he wanted Nick to run Newman, but he would drop Nick in a second if Adam wanted it. You know what I mean? And that's where that jealousy. I feel like they're both jealous of each other for different reasons. But I feel like the reason Adam really wants custody of Christian and Connor is because look at the way Nick and Chelsea are acting. You know what I'm saying? They went on the defense automatically. Adam wasn't trying to take Christian away from Nick fully. He just wanted to be that boy father and raise him as he should. You know what I mean? I don't feel bad for Nick because look at when he found out at the time that Christian was his son or whatever the case may be, at the time when he thought Christian was his son, he had no problem taking that boy away from Sharon and Dylan. He ripped that boy right out from under them. Right out their arms, had no remorse about it. So I have no remorse for Adam trying to reclaim his son. At the end of the day, that's his child. And he wasn't even trying to take full custody away Connor away from Chelsea. He wasn't trying to cut Chelsea out of Connor's life. He wanted to raise Connor with Chelsea. Even if they weren't together anymore, he still wanted joint custody. But they're hell-bent on keeping Adam out of his kid's life permanently. Not even wanting to tell the kids that Adam is their father, which I think is unfair. Because you're doing to Adam what his mother did to him and Victor. You know what I'm saying? She didn't want Victor a part of Adam's life. Adam didn't find out about Victor until his mother was on her deathbed. That's when he found out. And it's not fair. It's not fair for Christian and Connor to grow up not knowing who their father is. And then they're more than likely they're going to find out once they're adults. And you don't want that. You don't want them having a tumultuous relationship with Adam like he has with Victor. You should want him to have the opposite relationship. You know, I mean, yeah, Adam's not a perfect person, but neither are Nick and Chelsea. They both have done things in their life too that's been illegal, immoral. You know what I mean? Like, but yet they judge Adam like he's the devil incarnate. Like, come on, Chelsea has a lot of skeletons in her closet too, and she recently done things. You know, ripping Fenmore's off, assaulting Sharon, all type of stuff. You know what I mean? All type of fraud, con woman. You know, he could use that against her in court just like she could use information against Adam in court. So basically, they'll both be slinging mud at each other if it goes that far. I feel like Adam should just leave Chelsea alone. Go for, you know, joint custody of your son and just not even try to get back where I understand he's still in love with her. But for me, I'm just over it because I don't like the way that they're trying to dog him. Like, yeah, he's, you know, Adam ain't perfect, but it's not right to try to keep him away from his kids when they all got blood on their hand. It ain't just Adam, you know. And I like how him and Phyllis basically are kind of friendly, you know, two devils making trouble. I like it. But anyway, hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. I will see y'all all later. Peace.